Hello everyone, welcome to a very special video because today we're doing a tier list. That's right, haven't made a tier list in like 3 or 4 years, and the last time I made one, it unexpectedly blew up and like 10,000 people wanted to kill me over my Kingdom Rush opinions. So, maybe making this video might be a bad idea. But you know what? I felt like I had to. I feel like this video has to be made. So, what we're going to be ranking today are 2025's video games, the ones that I've played at least, because this year was special. Mm, I haven't played this many newly released games in a single year ever. Usually I play like one or two new releases. Sometimes I don't even play any. And this year, there were so many incredible video games that I played 12 of them. Okay, well, looking at this, you can already see not all of these are amazing, but just bear with me for a second, okay? We'll get to the rankings soon enough. So, yeah, I thought that this year was special enough to warrant some kind of tribute video. And what better way to make a tribute than with a tier list, am I right? Alright, before we start, I'm gonna put some disclaimers in place so as to warn you of what's to come, and yeah, so that you don't get scared by any unexpected turns in the video later on. First of all, even though I played more new releases this year than ever before, we are still missing some heavy hitters that a lot of people probably would have wanted to see ranked. So we don't have Expedition 33, we don't have Battlefield 6, we don't have Arc Raiders, we don't have Dispatch, even though Dispatch would be S tier because I watched the whole playthrough and I actually was considering including Dispatch on this tier list because let's be real, it's more of a TV show than it is a game. So watching and playing it is basically the same experience. But in the end, I decided against it. If this is supposed to be a tier list of games that I've played, not played and watched. But yeah, I love Dispatch. Dispatch would be S tier if it were here. Okay, second of all, this tier list will be fully subjective and there will be zero objectivity, not a trace. You will not find a single shred of objectivity on this tier list, okay? It's all my opinion. So if you're looking for like an objective ranking of which of these games is the best, you're not gonna find it here. Click off the video now or else you might have a heart attack. Okay? And third of all, the third point is somewhat linked to the second. Some of these opinions will be controversial. Just saying. If if controversial opinions is something that triggers you, then click off right now because you might just have a heart attack watching this video. Okay? Good. Now let's begin. All right. So before we get started, let me just explain the rankings real quick. So F is just for games that were straight up bad, games that I wouldn't recommend to anyone. C is for games that were moderately enjoyable, but still had more flaws than I would have liked, let's say. B is for games that were good without much to, like, games that were just good without much to say about them. A is for games that were very good, but not quite the best of the best. Then, sorry. Then S is for games that were the best of the best, the absolute greatest of the year, and this one is reserved. Jesus Christ. For a single game that I consider the best of this year. So, first game on our list is Airships Lost Flotilla. This game came out in January, and I discovered it thanks to Brotato, which is a game that I played last year and I liked it a lot. And this one is very similar to Brotato, and I feel like in a lot of ways it's better. Like the art style in this game is definitely really, really cool. And it does have like somewhat of a world around it and some lore that you could probably dig into if you wanted to. Like it's a game that was made by a solo developer, and you can clearly tell that he's passionate about it. Like I really like this game. I think gameplay wise, it's not really. I don't think it's as fun as Brotato. The movement can be a bit clunky, and a lot of the time the upgrades I feel like are just too damn expensive. Like really, probably the biggest problem of the game is the affordability of the items. It feels like you have to just keep skipping shops because you just don't have the money to buy any upgrades. But other than that, it's a really fun game. It has a really cool aesthetic. Like I said, the world seems very interesting. There's a lot of like I said, the developer just seems really passionate about this game, and it is fun and enjoyable. It doesn't have a whole lot to do. You pretty much just do runs with different ships, just like you do in Brotato. But it is a good game, in my opinion, and am looking forward to seeing how it develops in the future. That for that it gets a B tier from me. Okay, next game we have is Schedule One. This game came out in April, I think. But yeah, it's the ultimate drug dealing simulator, more addicting than actual drugs, though I've never done drugs, so I can't really confirm. But I'm pretty sure it's more addicting than those. So yeah, this game is just so cool. If uh, it's so easy to get into, and when you do, it just feels so fun. Like there's so many things to do. Yeah, I think the gameplay loop in Schedule One is really, really fun. And what I really love about this game is how much room you have for creating your strategies. Like there's so many things you can do to try and try and set up your operation, try and make it as efficient as possible. It gives you a lot of freedom in a very fun way. You can schedule deals at night time to get more money. You can try and pickpocket people to get your to get your product back and resell it. You can I don't know. There's just a lot of really fun strategy involved to this game. You can really It really lets you sort of set up your own operation and run it the way you want. And also, I think the movement in this game is really cool. You can do super jumps, you can run across rooftops, there's a lot of really cool movement tricks. Like you can, if you jump on a mailbox or pretty much any other like small object, you can bounce yourself up and land on the roof of a house. Or if you go underneath a bus stop and spam jump, then you can make a super jump and send yourself all the way to space. It's just a really fun game with lots to do. And yeah, I like it a lot. And also, it's still in development, so we can only imagine what lies in store for us in the future. What kinds of crazy new additions will be made to the game. I'm really looking forward to seeing it develop. So yeah, it gets an A tier for me. I think it's a great game. It's such good fun. Yeah. All right. Next game we have in this little list is Split Fiction. This game My God, this game was so unbelievably fun. My jaw was on the floor for this whole game. It is incredible. Like, I think the visuals and like set pieces in this game are incredible. Like, you can tell that the developers went for just full on video gamey fun when they were designing this game because that's exactly what it is. I like it definitely has some flaws in the story and the writing departments. Like the story is not bad. I never felt like the story was terrible, but it's just like the game doesn't really focus on it that much. It does there is some story, some stuff to be learned about our main characters. The writing is kind of cringy sometimes, but it's not that bad. And like I said, but yeah, it's all fine because the gameplay and the set pieces and the visuals are so just stunning that you can tolerate the lack of let's say deep narrative elements. So I don't think it's as good as A Way Out, but I do think it's better than It Takes Two. It's just so much like it's such a crazy ride. I loved every second of this game. Even when the dialogue was not great, even when the story was not interesting, I still loved every second of this game. It was just such like I say, it's just such great raw video game fun. And that's exactly what the developers were going for with this one, I feel. And they crushed it. I'm just gonna say it. I loved this game. And also it's two player, so it instantly gets a boost. Like if this game were single player, it would be like half as fun. Giving your game a two-player mode is just a cheat code to make it more fun. And Hazelight's been exploiting that cheat code since like 2016 or whenever A Way Out came out. This is an S tier. Yep, this is one of my favorite games of this year. It was an incredibly fun experience, one that I will not easily forget. All right, now this is where the first controversial opinion of the video comes in, so brace yourselves. Doom the Dark Ages is S tier. I absolutely loved this game. I know I'm literally the only one in the universe who enjoyed this game. Everyone else just shits on it. Wherever I go, I see only hate for this game, and it makes me sad because I think it's amazing. The gameplay, sure, it's not the same thing as Eternal, but that's a good thing. I If they had just given us the same game, just with a different coat of paint, it wouldn't have been as fun, in my opinion, and as good as uh, as it is. I do think that the gameplay is really fun, albeit slower and a lot different feeling than Doom Eternal. And everything else about the game is just amazing. I think the visuals and like the locations you visit are just great, and the soundtrack. My God, the soundtrack to this game is so good. Mick Gordon was a legend, is a legend, and obviously he did an amazing job with Doom Eternal's soundtrack. It is a masterpiece, but it doesn't mean that the soundtrack to this one automatically isn't. It isn't as like fast paced and intense as Eternal soundtrack was, but that's just to fit the pace of the gameplay more and the atmosphere of all the locations. The music in Dark Ages is so unbelievably atmospheric and cinematic. I think much more so than Eternals. Eternals was like really like it was really good music to headbang to. It just felt good as music, but it didn't have that kind of cinematic effect that like it definitely fit the locations, but it didn't have that epic cinematic feel that Dark Ages soundtrack has. And Dark Ages as a game overall just has a way more cinematic feel than Eternal, which I like. I like cinematic stuff. And like I said, I like good narratives, and I think the narrative in Dark Ages was pretty good. Nothing to like, nothing to be crazy about, but it was a good narrative, better than Eternals for sure. Yeah, and in some gameplay aspects, I think Dark Ages absolutely crushes Eternal, such as the boss fights and the weapons. I think the weapons in Dark Ages are just so much more useful than in Eternal. In Eternal, there are a few guns that are completely useless, and in Dark Ages, I think every single weapon is good. And it's so much more fun to use different weapons in Dark Ages than it is in Eternal. Because it feels like whatever weapon I pick in Dark Ages, it still does something. Whereas in Eternal, not all of them have that feel. And the weapons just have so much more power and weight to them in Dark Ages. Like when just if you just compare the default shotguns from Eternal and Dark Ages, the Dark Ages one is so much like weightier and more powerful. Absolutely love this game. I thought it was gonna be my game of the year when it first came out, but even greater things were to come, which I wasn't aware of back in May when this game first came out. But it's still extremely, extremely good. And I do love Doom Eternal. It's a game that that's very, very special to me. But I love Dark Ages too. Like I think Dark Ages did a lot of things better than Eternal. Eternal did some things better than Dark Ages. They're both amazing games, and they are both S tiers for me. Yeah, that's that's that. I know that was extremely controversial, but you were warned. Okay, our next game is Jacksmith Weapons and Warriors. This is an easy B tier. It's a good game. Like definitely I definitely have a lot of nostalgia for the original Jacksmith, and I'm very, very happy that Flame Studios is remaking their games for Steam. But I think Jacksmith is the weakest so far because it's just completely unchanged. Like the original Jacksmith was already super good. Its its gameplay is literally timeless. This game came out in like June, and I actually had a lot of fun making all the weapons and fighting the monsters and all that. Even without the nostalgia aspect, I think it's a very fun game. But compared to the other remastered Flipline Studios games, this one is the weakest because it's just regular Jacksmith with pretty much no changes. The only changes that are in this game are extremely minor. If you compare it to like Papa's Pizzeria Deluxe for Steam, it's a world of difference. But yeah, it's still good. Like I said, Jacksmith is a great game. If it had if it had some extra features, it could potentially have ended up in the A tier next to Schedule 1, but it doesn't. So that's a B tier for me. Still good. B tier is still good. Okay, now moving on to another controversial opinion. This one might be tough for y'all to swallow. I don't think Silksong is that good. No. I think Silksong is one of the weakest games of the year. I've uh, I've been a fan of Hollow Knight since 2017 when the game first came out, and I was more hyped for Silksong than anyone. Eventually, I lost hope that it would ever come out. I thought that maybe Team Cherry just, I don't know, stopped making video games or something. I lost all hope that this game could ever come out. And then out of the blue, boom, it's real and it's here and it's playable and it exists. And I was so unbelievably hyped, I just couldn't process the fact that I was playing Hollow Knight Silksong. But then, with each passing gaming session, I realized I wasn't enjoying myself nearly as much as I would have liked. So, I have a review of most of these games on my channel where I talk in detail about all of them. And yeah, I do have a review of Silksong where I go over all the details and stuff, but here I'm gonna be brief. I think this game's story sucks all the shit. The way the story is told, and especially the ending. I despise the ending to this game. The true ending, I mean. I think the story just so much less compelling than in Hollow Knight 1. I actually couldn't give less of a shit about what was happening in the story, which I was surprised at myself. I was like, wait, why am I playing Hollow Knight Silksong and not giving a shit about what's going on? Yeah, I think the story is definitely the biggest crime. I talked about it in detail in my review if you want to know more. But yeah, I think the story to this game just completely sucks. And the gameplay, while it's not really bad, it definitely like it is just Hollow Knight's gameplay with some fun new additions, but it's not always fun. Like I get it that they wanted to make it hard, and there are some challenging moments, some tough boss fights which I did enjoy in this game. I definitely they were definitely good, but I feel like the for the most part, the bosses in this game fucking sucked, and they were among the most frustrating bosses I've like ever fought in a video game. They sucked, but the game a great does have great visuals. That's its strongest. That's its strong suit. I think the visuals in this game are beautiful. Every location looks great. The soundtrack is also really, really good. I love the music in this game. So it is not F tier, don't worry about it. It's C tier. Like I said, C tier are still games that were moderately enjoyable had but are flawed. And that's exactly how I feel about Silksong. Like it is good. It is not like a terrible game, but is just so much weaker than Hollow Knight 1, in my opinion. It doesn't have that special spark that the first game had. In my opinion. I because everyone seems to love it, I I can't say the same. I think this game was significantly worse than the first, unfortunately. All right, now our next game is another two-player co-op game. I have three siblings, so you can imagine we really enjoy two-player games, and that's Lego Voyagers. So it's obviously not as good as Split Fiction. It's I'm gonna put it in the B tier because it is an enjoyable game. I mean, I might actually like this is the one what I'm the most on the fence about. I'm not sure if I would put it in B or C. Like it might be C, it might be B. It's like I'm just not really sure. This is the only game on this list that I'm not sure where to put because it is a fun game and I love Lego bricks, so two-player co-op and Lego, perfect combo for me, right? But and it is fun. It does have fun puzzles. It does have great visuals. Like you get all these big environments created entirely out of Lego, which is just amazing. But the game is super short. It's only 4 hours long, and is pretty expensive. It is more expensive than Silk Song, which offers like 60 hours of content for one playthrough, which I think is a little egregious. So it might go into the C tier just to give Hornet some company down here so that she's not, all by her lonesome. But yeah, I did like the game. It is fun and it has a great aesthetic, it's it's super short and way too expensive. So we'll just put it over here so that Hornet has some friends to talk to. But yeah, it is not bad, but I would recommend you get it when it's on sale because it's pretty damn expensive. Right. So let's move on to our next game on the list, Ghost of Yotei. This game is amazing. I I love this game. I'm a huge fan of Ghost of Tsushima. It tells one of my favorite stories in all of fiction. I think the closest I ever came to crying at a video game was either Ghost of Tsushima or A Way Out. And yeah, I just really love the story. And Ghost of Yotei is pretty interesting because it is better than Ghost of Tsushima in every aspect except the story. Now, the combat is so much more vicious, so much more brutal in Ghost of Yotei. The explorable areas are so much bigger. Oh my god, the visuals in this game are incredible. This is probably the most realistic looking game I've ever played. I just like every time I was like at a higher vantage point, I had to stop and look at the view because it would just look so goddamn good. That And the narrative is good. It's not nearly as good as Ghost of Tsushima, but it is still a good story, and I did enjoy it. And I also went into this game expecting the narrative to be a little less good than Tsushima's because I just couldn't believe. I refused to believe that they could ever make a story better than the one in Ghost of Tsushima. So I already knew it going into this game that the story was not going to be as good as the first game. Everything else, though, blew me away. And for that, I will give it S tier. I just have to. I think the combat and the visuals and the soundtrack too. Yeah, this game has a great soundtrack, better than the first game in my opinion. It's just everything just so good. The story is still good. It falls apart near the third act. I think at the third act is when the story really starts to kind of stuck. Like, okay, let's not give spoilers here. You can go to my review for the spoilers and in detail discussion of the ending. But yeah, even though the narrative was not that great near the end, it's still S tier for me. All right, now here comes the big one. Hades 2. This is actually just a game with no flaws. I couldn't tell you what I disliked about this game if I tried. I think that like if I had to find something, I really hated the moment where when I got the platinum achievement for this game because that meant there was nothing more to do and I had to stop playing it and move on to other things. I like this game like Hades is an amazing game. I absolutely adore Hades, and they didn't fumble with the sequel. I think Hades and Hades 2 are equally as good. Like, in neither of these games can I think of any sort of flaw or anything that was lacking. I don't know. I've always had a hard time recommending Hades to people because I just don't know where to begin, and I just keep like absolutely praising the shit out of the game without really giving any sort of like meaningful opinion on it. I, but my God, everything in this game is amazing. Every single thing. The art style of Hades is so good. Everything looks amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. As I predicted back in my review video, I've grown completely obsessed with Skilla, and even the non-Skilla soundtracks are just absolutely amazing. Every single song on the soundtrack is good. Uh, the gameplay is so much fun. There's so many builds you can get, so many weapons, so many upgrades, and it's also dynamic and fast-paced, just like the first game was. The voice acting is top notch, and the writing and the dialogue between the characters is so good. Just wanna talk to these characters all the time. It's actually just a game with no flaws, in my opinion. I I love this game. Yeah. Okay. And moving on, we have Absalom. It's a pretty recent game. I played it like a few weeks ago, and it is super fun. I discovered this game through a YouTube recommendation because a song from this game popped up, and I was like, wait, Mick Gordon made the soundtrack to this game, and I decided to play it. It's a super good game. It The combat is so much fun, and it's such a cool mix of different types of games. I really love Absalom. The art style is also great. It has a really cool, like cartoony kind of art style, which looks really nice. Yeah, and it has two-player. I played with my brother. We had such a blast playing this game, and we do still play it. Mm, Even though we've got all the achievements, it's just really fun to play. I think I've repeated the phrase "it's so fun to play" in this video way too many times, but like how else we're gonna describe all these games? I think the gameplay in Absalom is most of all very unique. I've never seen this kind of like mix between Hades and Devil May Cry and some other stuff. It's a very unique and fun gameplay experience, and it is a combat system that you can really get good at. It's something like Sekiro or Sifu, where where your skill can just make you absolutely unstoppable. Like it's definitely a game that you can rely on upgrades and buffs and that stuff, but your skill can also just take you all the way if you're that good. And I love when games do that. So yeah, uh, I haven't touched on the story of this game because I literally just know nothing about it. Sorry. It seems like it's a big uh, and deep lore-filled world with lots of moving parts in it, but when me and my brother play something, we just goof around. We just go all fucking monkey-brained and and we don't pay attention to what the characters are saying at the story or whatever. So that's on us. Maybe the story is a masterpiece. I didn't pay attention to it. I was just too busy laughing and having fun uh, at the gameplay, and destroying everything in our paths was just so much fun. So that's an 8 here for me. Not quite as good as these bad boys, but it is a fantastic game. It's pretty short though, right? Forgot to mention that. It's also pretty short. It's a lot shorter than Ghosts of Yotei or Doom: The Dark Ages. So yeah, that's that. The last saved the best for last, as you can see. Plants vs Zombies Replanted. Yeah, this game sucks. I don't think I don't think there's any need for further explanation. I mean, I don't think it really sucks as a whole. Like, I mean, it's not dog shit, but it's extremely expensive for what it offers. It's even more egregious than Lego Voyagers in this case, because at least Lego Voyagers is a full new game, and this is just a slightly better version of the original Plants vs. Zombies that absolutely does not warrant such a high price. And also, I've heard people talk about the fact that this game was made with AI. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's just something that that's just a comparison that people are throwing around to insult the game, or if it was actually made with AI. Either way, it's not worth buying at its full price. Absolutely not. Just buy the original. And if in the future this game gets discounted to like a fifth of its normal price, then okay, maybe you can buy it. But other than that, there's just not much that's redeeming about this game. The new features that it offers are just not enough, I would say. Okay, we got that. That's my tier list of the games of 2025. Absolutely amazing year. We got some bangers this year, and yeah, it was just a joy. This year was so much fun to playing through all of these games as they all came out was so cool. I never really like experienced something like this where I was just moving on from game to game because there was so much new stuff to play. So yeah, I just wanted to make this tier list as a way to kind of celebrate what this year has given us. Next year, we'll see. I probably won't make this kind of tier list unless somehow I end up playing this many games, because there are only 3 games that I'm looking forward to next year, and I will make reviews for all of them, but probably not a tier list. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to argue with me in the comments, go ahead, and I'll see you whenever I see you.